But I always just kept them tucked into my pocket, brought them everywhere. And there was a cop standing swinging, and he went, "What the?" And I went, "What? What were you expecting to find in my pocket? Well, have those guys got their drums or their guns, pointed towards me, for the revelation of discovering a pair of knickers in my pocket." So he brought me in anyway, and I had to do this thing where I had to breathe into like this big, like a big professional breathalyzer type of thing. But in the meantime, they put me in like a jail cell. I mean, fucking hell. So my ex Bez, plus she needed to do a pee, as well. But she was being kept in another part of the thing. So I'm behind bars in Musgrave Police Station. She's off trying to find somewhere to relieve herself, sort of thing. And then these guys come out and said, "Right, John, let's go. You're going to do this big test." So I went, "Absolutely, no problem." And by the way, are the knickers back in my pocket again? And the big guy said, "Yes, they're back in there. No evidence, no required, at this stage." So I went over to the big machine. And there was like a big monitor type thing on it, and he said, "Blow hard, for 20 seconds or whatever." He says, "If you don't blow, I'm gonna know that you're guilty. So it's up to yourself." And I says, "I don't give a bollocks. I've got big lungs. Everybody knows that anyway." So I got the thing on and blew right into it. And I said to myself, if there's anything that's within me that needs to be seen on like there it is, because you can't get any more of a breath, coming out. So the thing didn't read right away, so it brought me back to the cell, and I'm sitting on a wee bench with the bars looking out, as if I'm in America's Most Wanted sort of thing. And then the original cop that handcuffed me and stuff, he came back, and he took my handcuffs off, and said, "We're going back to read the results," sort of thing. And I went, "Happy days. I'm either staying here the night, or that's me, sort of proving to them that everything was taken out of proportion." So up came the results, and I think I'm not exactly 100% sure, but I think that the threshold was 21. That was the number that they were after. That anything above 21 was prosecutable, you know, and I was like 11, like, you know, oh, which meant that I had alcohol in the system, but it was to a degree whereby it was like everybody's got alcohol in their system, even people who don't drink. You know what I mean? Um, so they said, "Look, listen, we're really sorry, John. You're basically free to go." And then I looked back, and there were like 4 or 5 cops all standing, giving each other money and stuff, and handing over wee pieces of paper. And then I went over to the guy and said, "What's that all about? Is if there's something to eat, I want something to eat. They're going out to the shop." He says, "They're not, they're not going out to the shop, John. They were taking bets on whether you would pass that breathalyzer or not." And three of them said you wouldn't. One of them said you would, and the one who said you would is winner takes all. So he got, I don't know what he got, 50 quid or something, on me passing the breathalyzer. So what a night, and then I've managed to, they brought bed to me. Got the, as I said, the handcuffs were already taken off. I had my thong in my pocket. But most importantly, the girl in the who had driven my car around to the police station around in Musgrave said, even though you've passed the test and stuff, I'm still going to drive your car, you and your partner, round home. A police car's going to follow us, and then we'll park up your car. You go in home, and then I'll get into the police car and come on back to the station. And I mean, all the windows were opening, around about the area whenever I arrived home, and everybody's going, there's him. It was no surprise to most of them, and the girl said, but here's the most important thing, and this was when she was saying goodbye, and she handed me the bag, and I looked into the bag, and there was the two kebabs. I'd forgotten all about them, and so I'd be, and this was like 4 a.m, maybe 4:30 a.m, which to me, as you know now, these days isn't really too late, but back then, it was like 4 a.m. Said goodbye to the girl. Police officer saw the cop car disappearing out of the street, and went upstairs and just looked at each other and went, get 2 plates. And we ate those kebabs cold, opened another beer without anywhere to go. Oh man, I think they were like the two best kebabs, certainly. Now, I can't say actually it's the best kebab I've ever had, because I had one tonight, but I had that from Grazia, my local pizza kebab house, and the guy in there knows me, so he knows what I like, so he does a little steak thing with mushrooms and onions and tomatoes, and he knows I like a little gravy, and stuff, before he rolls it up into the king naan. But that was that was that. Just the stupidest thing, of just sort of swaying from one side. I didn't sway from one side of the road to the other. I just happened to swerve. As I said to the guy, I was putting my seatbelt on, but that was it. You should have had your seatbelt on already, and that was enough, for the incident. But the incident was still interesting, and I came out of it okay, even though, I was arrested. It wasn't the first time for similar things. I'm not going to go into the London Dairy incident at the moment, but the similar thing happened then, and I passed it again. But the difference between that and the Musgrave situation is that I had to get from Londonderry, from the Strand, home, instead of just from Musgrave, to this the Belfast. Oh, so anyway, I was thinking. I've been looking at the TikTok thing, and I've been seeing that there's a lot of my Craig friends that are on here, and I was mixing that up with the fact that you see in KOB and Calvin Old Boys, where I was singing tonight. The whole thing is, where Calvin Old Boys is concerned, is that the club is based around a football team, but it's in, the place is established in Sandy Row, but the football team embraces all communities. So, in that respect, guys and their girlfriends and stuff from the Catholic communities can come over to Calvin Old Boys. They'll be well looked after. They sit down and they have a drink, and okay, most of the evening is